And when you're ready, we'll interlace the fingers. From the seated position, tuck your chin around your spine. And then sweep the hands around your back, fingers interlace, lift the chest and chin. You might take a big breath in, pull the ribs away from the hips. Exhale, interlace the fingers, tuck the chin around the spine. Inhale, hands sweep around the back. You can always hold on to opposite elbows if interlacing fingers doesn't feel good. Roll the shoulders back, big breath in, lift the chin. And exhale, we come back to that neutral spine, roll forward into your tabletop shape. Again, this is a place where sometimes your body is going to ask you to move in a certain way before your mind has really caught up. So can you notice that? When I get here, I often want to circle out my hips. For you, it might be moving into a cat and cow. What kind of movement feels like it's serving you? Yeah, it can be weird just to be invited to listen to your body. You're like, why am I doing a class then? Well, sometimes that work is building that ability of inward listening. So deal with it if you're uncomfortable. Haha. That's where you grow. Okay, I'll stop bullying now. We'll find our tabletop. I remember I had a teacher, I first did yoga with her. Let's turn our fingertips towards your knees, getting into the wrists a little bit here. So I've turned my fingertips to face back towards my thighs. Palms pressing towards the earth. The base of the palm might touch down, it might not, doesn't matter. How do the forearms feel? Yeah, my mom would remember this. She took me to a mother and daughter yoga class. That was my first yoga class when I was like 15. I was like in my little emo kid phase, you know, purple hair, big like chains on my pants, living my best life, you know. And I was like, ugh, what are we doing this thing for, Mom? And we get there and all the other daughters were like 7 or 8 years old, and I was like this cranky teenager, and I was like, ugh, this is so embarrassing. But then it was really, really great. And we love that teacher, and we still go back to her now and then. Deep breath in. Exhale, can you pull your shoulders back a little bit? Pushing the base of the palms to the ground. And then we'll come off the hands, roll the wrists out. Open and close the fingertips. Just feeling that mobility at the joint. We're going to work wrists. We're going to work ankles today. Take the back of your hands to the ground so fingertips can face inwards. Take the arms out a little wider. Back of the palms pushing down. And then gently start to lengthen the forearms, the elbows, just until you feel a sensation through the back of the wrist, maybe the back of the forearm. You can move in and out of that a few times if you'd like. But yeah, that teacher who we did our first couple classes with, she always said, now move into a spontaneous cat and cow. And I hated that because I just wanted someone to boss me around and tell me what to do. And now I'm like, la-di-da, do whatever you want. How does your body want to move? So anyways. You never know where life is going to take you, right? But if we can cultivate that skill of just allowing our body to make requests of ourselves, what a beautiful form of self-care you can take off the mat into the middle of your workday when you're stressed as shit and your body hurts. Close your eyes, see how you want to move, do it. One more time, lengthen the elbows, come off your hands. Curl into your toes, and we're sitting back for our toes pose here. So moving into the bottom of our feet, our plantar fascia. If you have a block nearby, you might set it up just to give yourself a little bit of support as you sit the bum back towards the heels. My toes are curled, and this is a really intense stretch for the bottom of the feet. So if this feels like a little bit too much, you can always take your hands to your hips and lift the bum a little. This is where a block can be a nice option just to lean some weight onto it, and you decide how far you ease back into it. In my body, my pinky toe wants to kind of roll away from the earth, so I'm thinking about pressing my pinky toe down. A little goes a long way. The kind of floor you're on will make a difference here too. If you're on like a hard concrete deck that everyone else looks like they got nice setups at home. That's fun. Notice your spine again. Can you stack the shoulders right over the hips if that feels okay? Take a deep breath in, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, get a little heavier into the seat. Notice if this sensory information, this stretch in the feet, is pulling you into a little bit of tension. Sometimes we clench the jaw, the inner thighs. Sometimes we furrow the brow when we're in these deep, deep stretches. Can we explore a little bit of ease amidst all the effort? Relaxing the jaw and eyes. Full breath in. And we'll sigh, take it forward. Hands down on the mat. Untuck your toes, top of the feet on the earth. And once again, we'll sit the bum back towards the shins. This could feel like tons already. A big stretch through the shin and the top of your foot. If you want to explore a little more, start to drag your hands back. Can you lean back? Maybe find a little lift of the knees. Doesn't need to be big. This time I'm thinking about trying to press the big toe side of the foot down as well. Maybe you get wild, test your balance, float one hand, maybe both. See what happens. Deep breath in. And we'll roll the shins down. Planting the hands. Can feel good just to gently tap the feet out on the mat. Let's meet in our downward dog. Option here, bend through your left knee and push your right heel towards the ground. Instead of just madly pedaling out the knees, let's be really intentional about that today. Right heel doesn't have to touch the ground, but can you reach it in that direction? Tilt your tailbone up a little higher. In some bodies, your heels will come to the ground with time, with practice. In other bodies, it just doesn't happen. So don't attach any judgment to whether or not it looks like someone else's down dog. Do you feel that big lengthening through the back of the left or right leg? Let's switch. Bend into the right knee, left heel presses towards the earth. Deep breath in. Float both heels and then press both heels down as you breathe out. Option a little strength work here to practice that mobility in our wrists and forearms. Roll high on your toes. Can you draw your shoulders forward, stack them over your wrists, spread your fingertips out nice and wide, pull or push the shoulder blades apart. Yeah, so we're in not quite a plank, my hips are still quite high. Then exhale, press your heels back. 2 more. You can do this with knees down as well. If your knees are down, we're doing the same thing. Shift your weight forward, shoulders stack over wrist, push the earth away. Still so much effort involved. Deep breath in. Exhale, back downward dog. 1 more. Inhale forward, shoulders stack over wrists. Maybe you start to lower the hips, wiggle your heels back, find more of a plank shape. Deep breath in. We'll take a nice slow chaturanga here. Can you keep your elbows stacked over your wrists? Look towards the top edge of your mat. We roll forward, forward, forward until your elbows start to bend. Feel your triceps working. Can you control the way down? Yeah, nice work. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, roll all the way down. Take your hands in line with your heart. Forehead looks down towards the earth. I'm going to play with a locust pose here, Shalabhasana, building it from the neck down. Look down to the mat. Deep breath in. Exhale, tuck your chin in towards your neck. Float your forehead. You're still looking down. And then relax the head down. Deep breath in. Exhale, tuck the chin in, float the forehead. And relax it down. Third one. Draw the chin in, lift the forehead. It's such a small movement. From here, can you pull your elbows and shoulders down your back? Notice how that lifts your chest a tiny bit higher. The mistake, or not mistake, but what could lead to some pain in this pose is a lot of folks try to use their low back to create the lift. But if you feel just holding here, gaze slightly forward, elbows and shoulders pulling down the back, how active is your upper back? That's what we're looking for in locust pose. Upper back engagement, glute and hamstring engagement, not dumping into the low back. Roll everything down, look back down to the earth. Deep breath in. Exhale, pull your shoulders and elbows back. Maybe your hands float an inch off the mat this time. You can look forward a little bit more if that feels okay in your neck, or keep your gaze relatively down to the floor. And lower. Deep breath in. Exhale, lift, hold. Take your arms out wide in a T position. Reach your toes long. Maybe your kneecaps lift, maybe your thighs lift. Notice, have you lost that pulling down of the shoulders? Are you feeling it in the lower back? If so, come a little lower. If this is feeling okay, draw the glutes into the midline, squeeze your thighs together, hold, come up a little higher, and exhale down. 2 more, deep breath in. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. 1 more, deep breath in. Exhale, lift, hold. Option, interlace hands behind the back, press the knuckles back, lift the chest a little more. Just an option, never a requirement. If your legs have come apart, can you glue them together, little mermaid tail? Ooh, how's the back of the legs feeling? They should be doing the work. We're not dumping into the low back. Press your knuckles towards your heels, breathe. 3, smile, 2, and 1, all the way down. Ooh, nice work. We'll press back. Coming into our embryo pose, this is a variation of child's. I'm taking my thighs together here. Some folks like a block underneath their forehead for this. It's just a matter of the proportions here. If your forehead comes down to the mat and that feels good, do that. If not, slide a block under. And we'll sweep our arms back alongside the shins. The goal here is that rounding through our back, reversing the back bend shape that we just created, to find a little relief, drawing our cervical, or sorry, our vertebrae apart from each other. You can stay here in this embryo pose, or you can reach your hands for your heels or your ankles and come into rabbit pose. In rabbit pose, we pull the hips away from the heels, tuck the chin, top of the head comes down towards the earth. Deep breath in. And exhale, sit the bum back towards the heels. We'll roll our way back up to that kneeling position. Notice how your spine feels. Might feel good to wiggle it out a little bit. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Take your hands back down to the mat for your tabletop. We'll curl into those toes, lift up and back, downward dog. Notice again, has changing the shape of the spine created a different sensation in your down dog? Did dumping into that back a little bit, even though we weren't supposed to? I know I did a bit. Does it feel any different? Deep breath in. Roll forward. Your knees can stay up or come down for your plank. Push the earth away. Engage the core. Belly draws in and up. Reach the crown of your head forward. Push your heels back or knees firmly into the ground. For 3, push the earth away, get a little higher, 2. And 1, set your knees down. We'll come into this tall kneeling position, hands on our hips. Going to explore our camel pose. Lots of options for camel. If you have a tighter spine or it just doesn't feel great in your body to reach back for your heels, you can set blocks up in line with your ankles. Really nice point to reach the hands back for. Take your hands to your hips. You might start to draw the elbows back. Our knees are about hip distance apart. Push into your shins, start to send your hips forward, but can you keep your bum relaxed a little bit? Think of opening through the front body, not compression in that low back. Ribs pull away from hips, shoulders draw back, lift the chin. In my body, honestly, I usually stay right here. This feels like tons. I'm feeling lots of length through the front body, and my back body doesn't feel crunchy and compressed. If you've got more mobility than I do, you might reach your hands back for your heels. Your hips will pull back as you do that, so then can you send your hips forward again? Your version doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Yeah, cool. I love seeing variations on what people are doing with their arms. That's fun. Deep breath in. Roll the shoulders back, lift your heart to the sky. And exhale, we'll stack it all the way back up. Whew. Hands come down to the mat again. One more time, we'll visit that downward dog. Tilt your tailbone up to the ceiling. Maybe this time you pedal those knees out a little quicker. And last time we'll roll forward, shoulders stack over wrists. Find your plank. Hips drop low, heels press back, knees can be lifted or lowered. Deep breath in. Step your left foot up towards your left wrist. Step your right foot up, and we'll sink into our little squat. In Malasana squat, toes are turned out to the side. Elbows might press in towards the knees. Lift your sternum to your thumbs. Deep breath in. Left hand down on the mat. Right arm reaches up to the ceiling. Can we pull the right shoulder away from the right hip bone? And you decide, I'm in more of a side bend right now, reaching to the left. Some folks like to take it into a bigger twist. Reach the right arm behind you. Look to your back thumb. So try one, try the other. Again, what intuitively feels better in your body? Big breath in. Back to center. Right hand plants. Left arm lifts up. Breathe it in. You can find that side bend. Left arm reaching over your head. Or play with that twist. Harvey is passed out on the couch. It's almost like he works for a living. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. Crawl your fingertips forward a little bit. We'll play with some hip mobility here before we move into some rolling work. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, drop that knee down to center. Doesn't matter which one. It's coming through the arms and in the middle. And then pull knee back, switch sides. Opposite knee drops in and up. This isn't easy, so if it feels weird and gross, that's okay. One knee drops down, opposite knee pulls back and up. Switch and up. One more each side. Tap. Yeah, no hands. Give it a shot. Why not? And in and up. Hands come through heart center. Lift your sternum to your thumbs. We'll move into, this is one of my favorite, just little invigorating breath exercises, especially first thing in the day. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. And we're going to exhale into a forward fold like this. Sweep the arms back, okay? We'll start in Malasana together. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, big sigh out, sweep them back. Let's do 3 more. Inhale down, hands reach up. Asking a lot from your hips and knees. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. Last one. Exhale. And then let the arms dangle. You can turn the toes forward a little bit more. That was another great example of Alana breathes aggressively into her mic for that Breathy Guys playlist out there on the internet. Might hold on to opposite elbows and sway a little. Or you might take your hands to your shins. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Find that halfway lift, a little engagement of the core. And then folding, hinging at the hips. See if you can tilt the tailbone up to the sky just a little bit more. Push into the feet. Roll all the way up. Hands reach up and overhead. And exhale, hands by your sides. Nice work. Might close the eyes down a moment again to take stock. That practice of consistently checking in. How is the mind feeling after like 40 minutes of movement, of breath? Do the sensations in the body feel a little different? If you focus on your fingertips, your hands, are you more aware of the flow of maybe blood beneath the skin, of a sensation that might be what we call prana, that movement of life force of energy? One more time, big breath in, and let it go.